how do you, bounce back from a trade that didn't do so well? Do you take some time off, or do you just get right back on and trade the next day or look for the next potential trade?
Yeah, that's a difficult one. And um, in my early days of investing, one of the natural resource guys always stressed the importance. He said that the biggest risk to investors is not the market, it's not the cycle, it's not the company, it's your own mind, pretty much. And it could be, extreme greed or extreme fear causing you to do things that are really not in your best interest. And so the psychology of, after if someone has a really large loss or a big drawdown, and that will happen, there's, you try to do the best that you can to frame a trade and control your risk and everything, but anything can happen in the market. The market doesn't have to do anything. There are things that are highly probable, but you're going to get caught in bad situations from time to time, and that's just a part of the nature of being involved in the stock market, or coming across a new cycle that you don't know and having large drawdowns from that. So I think that the main thing is just to have a very resilient mindset, and to basically know that no matter what I come across, if I'm committed to this, if I put in the work, I'm going to come out the other side. And it might not be, I might need help along the way, I might need mentors, I might need to you know readjust or kind of take a step back. But as long as you're committed to something, it's basically knowing that I'll figure it out eventually. It's just, if you're an intelligent person, if you're working really hard, if you're following mentor, like, it's statistically very improbable or improbable that you're not going to succeed. You just have to basically do it for long enough to get the odds in your favor. And so I think, like, when someone's either starting trading or whether they've been in it for a long time, it's accepting the fact that you will have really difficult periods, and to basically be committed that no matter what I come across, even if I have to take a year off, go back to a job, even if I have to restart, if I blow up an account, it doesn't matter, because the asset to a trader is their process. It's the person themselves. And then money will come and go. But if you're developing as a trader over time, you will have more and more money. And you might have not made it this cycle, but you'll make it the next cycle. And people who are experienced successful traders, they're people who have all gone through blowups. They're people who have all gone through large drawdowns, but they come back cycle after cycle after cycle because they know that they have what it takes to really do it.
What advice would you give to traders who are struggling? Maybe they don't have a process right now, or their psychology is really tricking them to get out of a trade too quickly, or they're too fearful, and so they'll miss an entire trade and never even enter it. What advice would you give to those who are struggling to become profitable?
Yeah, I would say that really apply that, the three things: risk, reward, and probability, and draw that out for every single trade, or have that in your mind for every single trade that you make. And if someone's lacking confidence, or if they're a little bit too fearful, then do it with one share of something, do it with two shares, get the muscle memory in place. The money doesn't matter. You can paper trade for a while, but I would say that just get it to be a part of your routine of doing that. Have your risk, have your reward, and have your probability, and then draw out all the things that you can think of on a piece of paper, a whole page for risk. Why was this a good level to get into? What was keeping it at that level? For reward, why did this have magnitude? Who is either coming or going in this stock? And then with probability, is this a clean setup, or is this chop? Have I seen this? Am I able to prove that this is a likely thing that happens over and over again? And why is it likely? And who else uses it? And so framing your trades in that, I think, for anyone who's struggling or anyone who wants to optimize, I think it's just incredibly beneficial to do that. And for anyone who's considering like quitting or giving up, it's like, trading is not that different from a lot of other, highly professional, sometimes highly professional jobs, like an attorney. Like, imagine someone who is trying to be a lawyer who just, read some articles, gave it a shot for a few months, they go into a courtroom and they lose. And it's like, yeah, well, of course, like, it takes years of intense study and all these things to become an effective attorney, and to do this consistently over time. And I think with trading, because anyone can do it, or anyone can get introduced to it, it's very easy on our phones, that you think that, oh, if this isn't easy, it's not for me. It's no, that it, not necessarily that it's not for you, but you have to apply professional attitudes to doing that, just like a doctor would, or a lawyer would, or someone who's a general contractor, someone who has to master a craft. And I think that if someone is considering quitting, I think the answer that they need to, or the question that they need to ask themselves is, do I want to do this at a professional level? And if so, then I have to take steps to really, back up that claim. Otherwise, if I want to be a hobby trader, people can do that. They can participate from time to time. Wait for a really hot market cycle. Try to get in somewhat early, read a lot, and then let your winners run and try to control risk the best that you can. And you can do that for when there's a hot sector. But if you're going to do this day in, day out, there's no way that you're going to do it over time profitably unless you put in hundreds, thousands of hours, to really master this craft. It's a craft like anything else.